It is time for North American Counter-Strike. I went on that Ferris wheel one day. It was not the most stimulating ride of my life, but it wasn't bad. Nice view, even nicer if you're flying a plane. Actually, I'm just kind of almost flexing now. I'm not trying to do that. But anyway, this is Santa Monica. Hello. I've tried to do a few things here. Yeah, we do come on camera on this show.
I was expecting the wide shot.
Okay. Well, there's Dan. You guys must be familiar with him by now. The Bears has decided to just walk past. Come on, just do it. Just do it. He very nice work by production. Yeah, the Bears decided to take a leave of absence, but he has now returned. He's over there putting his headset on. Welcome. We've got a lot of North American action to come. Today we have Luminosity versus Team Liquid. Let's have a look at the format again. Just a reminder of what's going on, because the first 3 weeks differ to the week number 4 and week number 5. Let's get the format cracking. So in the first 3 weeks, if you won the week, you went to land. The last 2 weeks, it's about accruing money overall. It's about prize money. It's about doing the best you can, man. It's kind of like 2 chances instead of 1. The teams below are the teams taking part in this particular week. Some are still here. Some have been jettisoned into the sun. We can have a look at the bracket and see who those are. Singularity with a very interesting, unusual game versus MIBR. Won by MIBR. In fact, MIBR's road to the finals has been fraught with difficulty. E-United made it harder than you might have expected as well. And E-United took out NRG in the first part of this bracket. Cloud9 still aren't getting the results they want. They lost to Luminosity, who now face Team Liquid, who beat StayStation. And these two teams will be playing each other to see who faces MIBR in the final tomorrow. So we will soon get into this, Luminosity and Team Liquid. It's going to be a juicy best of 3 series. Liquid have to be a heavy favourite. We just had some food between Europe and North America, some salad, keep it light. You know, trying to be part of a healthy, balanced diet. You know, you're a big fan of diets. You're a man who focuses on health and performance.
Actually, not a big fan of diets.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, everything's a diet. You know, so I suppose
that's the thing.
It depends on how you.
Yeah.
I guess now you can be pedantic, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things, because it is one of those kind of words where people get a bit special about it.
By default, you want to lose weight.
Yeah, people think when they hit diet, it's like, oh, you're doing keto, you're doing this, you're doing that, this fad or that fad. But anyway,
it's just controlling the intake.
And exactly. It's more mindful eating.
Yeah,
mindful
it should
eating,
be discipline with everything.
Everything in moderation.
I would eat pizza every single day.
Speaking,
I tried that, didn't I?
Speaking of the format, quickly, we already had a casualty today, because we had, WOC 6 Ti is like, we lost our game against NIP, which was the semi-final we had for the European segment earlier today, and he's like, now we can't. It's impossible. It's impossible for us to qualify. So we're off. We're going to go to DreamHack Tours. It's always the end of the tweet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to him and them, to Mousesports. Now, let's have a look at the veto. Let's see where we need to see the battlegrounds, where these teams will be facing each other, where they'll be challenging, where they'll have the... there's a place in London where you can do fencing. And one day I want to do that. I'm a giant target, though, but enough about fencing. For Inferno, a place with some fences. Then Vertigo. We got the Vertigo, baby. It's time to call Lurpistan. Get him on the phone. We got Vertigo coming again. Vertigo is guaranteed. Then we will be hitting Overpass after that. Inferno, usual stuff. Overpass. I love seeing Overpass. I can't get enough of Overpass. But Vertigo. Lecro from Ninjas in Pajamas did a video which I haven't watched just yet. What are you pointing at?
Luminosity picked Inferno. Is that right?
They're assuring me it's right this time.
We double checked it.
They've been pressing a lot of buttons. Maybe there's a cat in the studio. Okay, hold on.
Oh, I must be in a meeting or something.
He hung
up. Rejected the call.
I think he rejected the call.
Well, he knows what it means.
He's scared.
Lurpis rejected the call last time, he accepted it. This time he's rejected it. All right, so Inferno, Vertigo, and Overpass. I'm loving the Vertigo picks. I think Liquid picking Vertigo is interesting here because it can be a testing ground. Elise has been very vocal about Vertigo, but I think that they have to come into this best of 3 series with confidence. Worst case scenario, if it goes wrong, they should, especially with whatever was left, they should feel confident taking it into 3 if they have to. I'm going to assume that is the case because Vertigo, I think, could be brittle for teams this early, especially with the nature of the A bomb site. Any opinions?
I think it's one of those maps as well where right now people are floating it, and some people are floating it because they want to be ballsy, and some people are floating it because they can kind of play it. I think Team Liquid is not going to be a team that's going to float it otherwise, because they are one of the most prepared teams. They're the team that has the deepest, with Astralis, the deepest or the widest and deepest map pool. So that it suggests to me that they want to get experience on it and that they've been preparing for it. So I think that's like a scary sign for Luminosity, because Luminosity, to me, they're not a team that's going to do well on new maps.
Yeah, I think Team Liquid is the type of team to wake up at 10 a.m., have a cup of coffee, and watch a demo on Vertigo. They're that type of players, and they have so much depth in their CT side, T sides, everything. They're always coming up with new strats, new strategies, new metas.
We played Vertigo yesterday.
We did.
We're comfortable on Vertigo. We're comfortable, sometimes too comfortable for now.
But
we have advantage versus the average man, because we're studied. You know, I've got the Bardolph grenades holding down the A bomb site. I'm the one person on A. We got 4 on B. Everything's fine. We're cool, man. We've got these rotations. We've got the retake smokes on the platform. We've got it all going on.
Molotovs.
But what about
Molotovs.
Huh?
We saved the extra Molotovs for the A retake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got crazy Molotovs on Inferno. Not really crazy, quite simple actually. Anyway, it's time for predictions. Core blimey, I can't see where these are going. I'm going to go first. I'm going to pick Liquid. They're a far stronger team. They're a far tighter team. They are the second best team in the world, and they will show us why in this series.
So I'll go second, I guess.
No. You went second last time.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give it to Dan.
There you go.
I will also go for Liquid. Surprise, surprise.
Eric.
So everything that you said on top of the play style for Liquid would be a lot tighter. Luminosity, we saw earlier, a lot of spacing issues. So I don't think they'll fix it in 2 days. Maybe they did, but Team Liquid, too strong. Too strong.
I'm not confident in Luminosity's Inferno, so Liquid.
All right, fair enough. We've all got the horsies on the little... What are those things called? Merry-go-round with little horses on?
Yeah, merry-go-rounds.
Wait, did Luminosity pick Inferno?
Yes.
So how did I miss that? That is outrageous. That's outrageous.
Well, their pick of Inferno...
That's
what?
That's outrageous.
Wait, what was it? Like I was pointing
just
at
realized,
it, and I
yeah.
said
Can we
it,
pull
and you
out the
guys just
veto
looked
again?
at me like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we,
Look,
can we
I
actually
was-
pull the veto again? Can we do that again?
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's run...
Can we pull up? Let's run the veto again.
What is the meaning of this?
I don't know. Maybe they have some. Maybe they found out why they're doing so bad on Inferno.
Okay, so you're picking Inferno against one of the best Inferno teams in the world. Inferno, not your best map. Let's leave it like that. So they banned Nuke. They banned Mirage. I feel like they would have a better chance on more or less any other map. That's my personal feeling.
So honestly, I didn't even register.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. Even though you pointed out, it's like it's so beyond belief based on what our expectations on what we've seen that I didn't actually. I was just like, what's it? I mean, I don't know, man. You guys are crazy. You're pointing at something
crazy.
I don't know what it is. I can't just hang on to that. I'll just leave it. But that's a very interesting pick. I mean, it's only yesterday we saw them play Inferno, and I can't imagine they've turned their game around since then. Maybe they've seen some cool grenades, but that is very interesting.
It's every series that their Inferno has kind of just been awful, especially the T side. But Overpass as well, it's like okay, I can kind of see, maybe an Overpass working in some degree or other, but it's just Team Liquid, they're just too strong. I feel like the best chance for them is Vertigo because of the variants, but if Liquid have picked it, probably means that Liquid have really studied on it, as studied as you could possibly be. So
I think that there are extreme map pool problems here for Luminosity for sure.
Right.
Train gets vetoed. Yeah. And they have to veto Nuke because at least maybe there's a chance on Vertigo. Who knows? I mean, they've got so many problems on Inferno, for example, that who knows if they've even loaded Vertigo. We'll soon find out. But first, we need to find out the fan predictions. What do the fans think? I'm sure some people have chosen Luminosity, but it has to be a small contingent because Liquid again are that's a lot. 26% is a lot. I respect the ride or die. If that's your team, then shout out to you. Pick your team no matter what. That's cool. But I feel like that should be 85% for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Then again, Luminosity, they're here. Now we've got odds which I think make sense. We've got a clean 4.5. So if you really believe, if you've got disposable income, if you have disposable income.
So for me, you're right.
If you have cash in the lighter, then maybe this is the time. I don't know. But when you see that, okay. I'm sorry. I've just been thrown off by the Inferno pick. I'm kind of confused. Because we saw it yesterday. Was it yesterday?
We've seen it almost every single
2 days ago.
It's by far their most played map. They've got like what, over 12 plays on it in professional Counter-Strike in the last months, and they're less than 40% now, I think. Around 40% win rate.
It's not good. It's not great.
And I think they banned Mirage, which was actually one of the, I think statistically they're better maps. So I'm confused.
Well, I guess they're trying to, it doesn't make sense to say it, but I want to say counterpick their opponent, but they can't. They're just too good. So what do? Do you play to your strengths, or do you play against your opponent's strengths? Because all their strengths are stronger than your strengths. So do you then focus on? So for me, I would be like, I don't know. I mean, if they've had matchups before and they're like, right now we're just getting deleted on this. We're not so good on this, but maybe we have a better chance. Like that might be the thinking.
Yeah, it's always better, I think, to pick the map that you feel like your home map. But the problem here for me is that I don't think that Liquid are going to allow them to get more than like 6 or 7 rounds each map. So I think it's going to be really crushing. I think stylistically, I think the matchup is particularly crushing. I think this is one of the best teams to punish Luminosity and their sort of downfalls.
Based on what we've seen so far, with this iteration of Team Liquid, do we think they're better than Taco Team Liquid?
No.
Or do you have a preference?
You can't say. I'm sure you can't say that they are, right? Because with Taco, they were the second best team for the entire year last year, right?
For the most part,
that's pretty difficult to live
top
up
three.
to.
You could say top 3 safely.
I think it's a reasonable question. I like the old Team Liquid. I would have liked them to stay together. I think, like, obviously Stewie is an amazing player, but he has to fit into the right slot and the right style of team as well. And maybe this is the right style of team. We will see, but so far not so good. Nitro getting taken out. They have the information, but they only have one player on the B-bomb site. It is, of course, Stewie, of major fame. Slowly, quietly moves away into construction, playing for the retake, playing for the long game. 3-man rotation from Liquid towards CT.
So at least the bomb's down for Luminosity. That's some cash in the bag, guaranteed. Guaranteed money. But will they be able to get the win? Liquid are closing in. No one for the banana coverage there for them. They're just going to push the side itself, splitting through pool and construction. The smoke up there on banana at the moment. And Bolts is in the corner, and they have nowhere to go. Backs against the wall. I see Neck is stuck behind the smoke. Absolutely crushing retake. Wow, they don't lose a single guy on that retake. That's incredible. And 3 players untouched, 2 of which you have Kevlar. That's pretty nuts.
That was a really good retake, and that's probably some of the problems we see throughout this whole series. Just the timing and space in Team Liquid is so much better, like world class. And you know, go back on which Team Liquid's better. I feel like Stewie Team Liquid's better, just in fact because Taco, his tendency is to shy away from fights, while Stewie's the opposite. He wants to fight. He wants to go for the kills, and I think in the long run that would be better, and that's what Team Liquid needs. You need a guy that just not be scared and to set the tone, and Stewie's one of those guys to do it.
Stewie moves down, looks towards the tree position, and Bolts puts them in the ground, both of them. That's got to be a charge into the B-bomb site. You can't expect a third player to be there at this point. High flashbang, low smoke. The bomb's rotating as well. We've got a late lurk from 2 Luminosity players, and we've still got Twist basically on a balcony towards A. So looking at the radar, there's a very bizarre situation where he must have some kind of info. In the meantime, Elige's cleaning up. Twist slowly moving away now, but to take out one lurker, but he's still got Lucas waiting for him. He's looking for it. The headshots from the Deagles have been crazy for Luminosity in this particular round. He's not even going towards B-bomb site at the moment, so it's 2 versus 2 here. Liquid still have to be at favor. Lucas running all the way up banana now, so it's a very long rotation. There's a smoke towards banana. They don't know where these T's are just yet. There's one gone. There's Bolt spotted, trying to do what he can. Can Lucas get there in time through the smoke? Some spray keeps him off the bomb. He's running out of bullets to even stop him, and he'll have to run away. The one dig on the A-bomb site, the spam from the tree. Great plays, great aim from Luminosity. Lucas surviving. We played Lucas on Inferno the other day.
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah, we did on Inferno as well. Yeah. That was funny. We just had like our day of like 13 hours of casting. We all go back and play CS. And there's Lucas. Oh, we just casted the Best of 3. And
he did beat us, by the way.
Yeah.
Although we could have won it, but was it CT side?
It was something like
our
CT side
was bad.
Our CT side was really bad.
Yeah. But we got like on a T side, we got up to like 11, 16 or something.
We made a comeback.
Yeah, we got rounds.
But we lost. Well, early issues for Team Liquid. Maybe Lucas's fight versus Team Face It will help him. Maybe he learned something and now he's a stronger player on Inferno. Maybe it takes it over the line for him.
Maybe it does. You never know.
We're a catalyst. We're a catalyst.
Maybe a move that we did, he learned from us.
We are the Megatron to his Optimus Prime. Apart from the bit where he dies. Okay, so like he could be the Megatron, and we've made him Galvatron. He's got a bigger cannon now.
Oh, I don't know much about the Transformers universe. Sorry. So odd smoke.
These are the rounds in which I would expect Luminosity to struggle on a bit because Liquid are very disciplined, and you got those smokes. 1 minute mark, 3 smokes remain, 3 flashes remain. They have a kill on a Liege. This round has a lot of potential for the CTs, and good pick onto Elige, but still more work needs to be done. Late smoke on Porch. That is scary. So they're going to wrap through the arch side mostly. Is there a smoke for this, for the CTs?
Oh boy.
So he goes for the peek. That is huge. Takes down Neckers, falls back. Time is being wasted here. There's an additional smoke for Twist on the balcony. Nitro takes down another one, and things are getting really, really desperate now. There is still time, but they're stuck. Penny stuck in a corner. Doesn't land any shots. Guns have been collected. 2 AKs, in fact, as Lucas swings through the balcony. But he has, again, not very much time to do the damage here. And these CTs are holding position. And he's been spotted. And there you go. That is... It's hard, man. If you're playing it against a CT side that knows how to play the CZs, the smokes, it is hard. Stewie's looking great so far, actually. Did they move Stewie from B? Because I know that Stewie, typically when he started with Liquid, he's a B player on Inferno.
Seems like he's been going there last couple of rounds. I don't know about the eco, but the first 2 rounds I think he was in B.
Because he's notorious on the T side, at least in the Cloud9 days, for being incredible on the banana, much like Flusher, but a more aggressive version of Flusher.
Is Stewie?
Yeah, like banana specialist.
Yeah, both ends of the banana. He's a seasoned professional. Oh dear. Well, Lucas is the hero of the hour. Again, trying to channel the energy absorbed by playing against Team Face It. Taught him everything he knows on Inferno.
The problem is that Luminosity picked up that pistol round, which is amazing, but then they got reset straight away again. So it's actually going to work out worse for them because their money will be much slower to get into a good spot, and Liquid will have all that time to build. As long as they stay alive in this rounds. We see this position used a lot today. Dead off angle by Carrigan, I think, earlier today by Mouseforce.
Ooh, where did that attack come from? Nitro. Ooh, this is getting ropey. This is really back and forth, surprisingly. Henny's got the AK-47, no Kevlar for him, and they will get finished off. There'll be 2 AK-47s for Team Liquid to take into this particular round. So it was still made a little expensive, but ultimately the play has failed for Luminosity. Now, maybe if they had got, say, 1 more frag, they would have gone for the force buy, but they'll go for the force buy anyway. They feel like they did enough damage. They feel like there is a chance to turn things around. They are investing.
But they have very little utility. Pretty much non-existent, with only 2 smokes and a flash. I can't see him doing anything crazy, so watch for a straightforward exchange kills kind of round.
So the banana presence is had. Stewie, this is one of the reasons why you want him on B, is because you want him to be effectively the entry fragger. He's very quick. He's very good in those 1v1s. And he'll be left down bottom of banana. And top mid presence is felt by Team Liquid. Do they go for a pop flash play, or do they want to keep things relaxed? They have still just a 2-man setup here on banana, so sometimes you want to do that. When you take banana deep like this, you don't always want to rotate someone. You want to keep someone there to assist every so often, depending on your reads of the map. But did Nitro spot the... Oh, I don't know that he spotted that. I don't know that he spotted the player that's gone past. He definitely didn't. Oh my god, he didn't expect that. Neckis right around the corner. Neckis is great at entry fragging on this map, as is Steel apparently. Liege on the bomb side. They're in trouble right now on this A side.
They're in a lot of trouble. Instant save. Team Liquid turn around on the B bomb side. The 2 remaining players outmaneuvered by Luminosity. 4 versus 2, and that's a big gamble taken by Luminosity. They would have really been on the back foot had they lost this, but 4 players look to survive overwhelming the A bomb site. Now, again, Luminosity are a team who we have seen suffer time and time again on Inferno. It was only this week we saw it once more. And yet here they are.
And since then, they seem to fix some of the problems. They're looking like they're peaking together. Their timing's well. You saw the Hall peak at the same time as they're trying to wrap and take the shot. So it's looking good so far for Luminosity. So are they able to keep it up? Or is Team Liquid able to adjust to their good timing?
Instant response from Neckers. Immediately knew what he needed to do. So great play. This is promising from Luminosity. It's a good start. I think we have to keep a focus, for me, on Luminosity. I mean, we've seen more of them, I would say, than Team Liquid this season, but just because they picked this, they need to show us why. So far, so good.
I think one of the adjustments that Team Liquid can make after that round, because they played it really passive, they were trying to be safe against everything. And I think an adjustment they can make next time is to rotate someone, leave Stewie deep on Banana, and actually rotate somebody. Because if Luminosity don't ever retake Banana, that's going to be a big win for Team Liquid to be able to do that. And oh, that's a nice nade. And they won't have to really over-adjust. They don't have to do anything else in particular, like let's say go really aggressive into top mid. They can still play fairly passively, but just try to have enough players towards A, and that can be the adjustment. But I mean, maybe an adjustment is not necessarily required if Liquid are able to pick up this round. They do have not the best equipment, but we saw them do more with less. So smokes onto the B bomb site, which is designed to just create pressure and to also try to force out some utility from the B players. But that is very much in the meta. So looks like there will be a resmoke, but at 50 seconds left, that will be going away at 33 on the clock. That's when that will disappear. So just enough time to get into the bomb site safely.
Numbers game. 5 versus 2. We saw it before, we see it again. This time even compounded more than we saw in the European game. In that case it was the 3 versus 2 recovery, but this time it's a pretty solid answer. We could see Team Liquid with only an SMG and a bunch of pistols. They have $8,000+ carried among these 3 players. That smoke will allow his teammate to escape. Can hold there for a time in case they tried some crazy push, but he's picked himself up an M4A4. Now it's almost $11,000 they're carrying. So there's plenty to save for Team Liquid. Very expensive to buy on the CT side especially. And Luminosity look to tie the score. It seems that early on, Liquid are on the back foot. Luminosity with some unprecedented success. But how long can they keep this up for? How long can they really keep Liquid against the wall? Bend Liquid until they break. I would love to see a great game of Inferno from Luminosity. It would make things very interesting with Vertigo having to be floated because of the nuke veto.
Well, one thing that's interesting is that in online Counter-Strike, it can be more difficult than, let's say, if you're on a stage or you're at a LAN with your teammates. It can be a bit more difficult to have that level of hyper focus that allows you to perform really well. And so sometimes one way that can be achieved in an online match is if you know you're up against a really hard opponent, if you respect that opponent a lot, you're just in your mind, especially if you have a history of that opponent too, you're going to be even more focused than normal. And so sometimes teams will rise, their performance will rise to the level of their opposition, and sometimes your performance will lower according to the opposition. There's some teams that are very much like that. Some teams will always play really, really well, but some, it depends on their competition slightly as to how well they'll perform. And so far, I feel like we're seeing a more disciplined, more focused Luminosity.
Apps on anti-eco is often dangerous, and there is an example of why. They'll gamble. Luminosity reacting, realizing what the setup was. Got to be brave to do that, but have they just smoked themselves off of the site? I think this is a T-smoke. I'm sure I saw a yellow line there. Very bizarre. So looking over it either way. Elige moving forward around the site, maybe exposed. You can see Stewie. Will he expect Henny in this position? Very unusual turn of events after that frag in the apartments. Henny looking. And there is Stewie taken out. 3 players in the arch position now. We've got Twist of the UMP so far, so good. 3 versus 3. Trying to run distraction. His teammate Elige coming through the apartments with a deagle, picks up an AK, falls to the floor. Twist still alive, doing as much damage as possible, really squeezing it out. Nitro, no kit, 1 versus 3. Location is unknown, and he's looking for him. That's a great response, but he loses 60 HP. Doesn't know what the situation is towards the pit. He has a Molotov. Not going to be easy. Cuts the noise. Does he go for this? Or is he trying to save? It's a small percentage situation, especially without a kit. And it seems to give it up. It's taken too long otherwise. Ooh, he's expecting a... Oh, the molly for the pit. To go and save in the pit, he's going to drop the Molotov, I'm guessing. But you can hear them going elsewhere. He can't chase Bolt because he'll be too close to the bomb. Goes the right way. So those were the intentions for Nitro. Just try and make them spend... It would have been a good value if you dropped the molly. $600 to take away 8,000 plus.
I think it's good this if we see Luminosity do really well on Inferno. It just shows like what behind the scenes Zach or whoever is helping out as well is improvement. You're seeing improvement in Luminosity's play, and I think that's a very positive thing for them. And it just shows progress. You always want to see progress, not the same old mistakes over and over and over again.
So this time Liquid are being very passive. No aggressive banana take. And you know, one thing about Luminosity is that Luminosity have just been creeping, edging all their way towards bomb site attacks here. They've been playing pretty good default CS, and they haven't been left with huge amounts of time, but just enough each time. Like, you know, 30 seconds or so, which is enough if you're already ready in position to go for a split. It's a good shot from Stewie, and I like the fact that Nekis was kind of sitting in that position, because there's a world where Stewie loses that 1v1, especially to Nekis, who is pretty good at those. And that's an enormous advantage. But Lucas has found his 1v1 on Elige towards A, and so they get the same result, just on a different bomb site. And now this really makes things a bit awkward for Team Liquid. You can see there's a rotation from Nafly. They have no idea what's going on. There's no information for Team Liquid.
Yes, Lucas was so deep, they feel compelled to defend the A bomb site. It's a CT smoke on the short position, which denies them information. Same can be said here. Now, Steel's the only person with utility. Great damage by Stewie, but that is the bomb lost. Liquid out of position now. 3 versus 4. He really wanted a kill there in the smoke. Not quite happening. Low bullets for Lucas, but he still delivers a kill on the late lurk. Nitro and Twist on the A bomb site. Round number 5 for Luminosity. I like what I'm seeing. I really do.
They're playing way better basics than they do strategically, normally. Because often in the past, what the criticism has been, you know, their defaults are kind of lacking. And here, although, you know, their defaults don't always look the same, they have the same result, which is you get top mid control and you get banana control, and then you're able to create the situation where the CTs have to guess which way to stack their players because they don't know where you're going to hit. That's the basic. That's the basics of how you play T-side Inferno, take away the info, and then punish the CTs. However, the issue here is that Liquid, they actually gave up banana. They decided to play ultra passive. And I feel like they were doing well, doing what they were doing, playing really aggressive on banana, taking banana away. I think they need to keep doing that. I don't think, like, Luminosity are super happy to just walk around. And if you give them a lot of space to do it, then that's playing into how they want to play the map.
Yeah, I think more chaos at the start. Make Luminosity use smokes, Molotovs to push you back. So when they execute a bomb site, there's not as much utility to kind of push you out of your spots.
A takeoff banana from the T's. There are 3 CTs towards B, but it's uncontested. Jumping peak from Luminosity somehow got away with that, but it will take heavy grenade damage. Charging up. Oh, taking too many liberties, Nekis. You can't just jump around there for free, especially with no smoke down on CT. Henry gets his bell rung, and maybe they were just too hungry for the frags in the position. Luminosity losing a player in Boiler as well. finally to get an answer, but only for a second. Elige from the back with the Mag 7 leaves it in a 1 versus 4. All that good work from Luminosity undone with a charge up banana. That leaves Bolts alone with half HP and a minute 10 on the clock.
I think that's pretty interesting in a way, because if you look at some of the past rounds, after the first few where Liquid were super aggressive on banana, they, as mentioned at the beginning of the round, we were talking about how they've been so passive there. And so perhaps they read that and they felt like, you know what, we can get banana so easily. Let's just try to run up banana and see if we can get a fast timing. And they were right, but this time Liquid wanted to contest it more. They had 3 players there, and they were looking to actually fight on banana.
They baited him. They baited Luminosity.
And so that's where it all went right. They didn't just let Luminosity just take position on the map. They fought for something, and they come away with with 4 players surviving with 3 AKs. That's not bad.
Took a lot for granted at the top of banana, completely exposed. Hopping around to look over the sandbags, I presume. Can't do that for free. A very expensive lesson learned by Luminosity. Took a lot of money out of their pockets, put a lot of money into the pockets of Team Liquid, who now have 2 AWPs, Nitro and NAF. Will wield the sniper rifles. 2 plays begin towards the B bomb site. Seen this before. NAF live with a very quick look, limiting his exposure. Some people would have held the angle, but he doesn't know if somebody's gone past the angle already. So quick look, and they will just be happy, content with a smoke at the half wall. Guess Lucas ate the flashbang in case somebody peeked ahead of it. Oh,
that
no!
was deep.
How did that do so much damage?
That was deep. They are really expectant, using the molly as well. But for the most part, Luminosity just waiting for a peek in mid. Showing some presence in apartment. Post flash. Here comes the lurk smoke.
So there's a lot of counter utility from the CTs. Nats playing retake on B. So they have everything they need for this defense, and it feels like Luminosity don't have much going on here. The AK is doing all the damage. And Lucas will come out, and there's not too much left for him to be able to do. And about that HE, so I wouldn't be surprised if Team Liquid's, I mean, obviously at this level, these teams and players know a huge amount of different grenades. And I wouldn't be surprised if that grenade is specifically for that, because you can see the Bolts smoke, lurk smoke lineup is from the position of where that HE landed. So presumably, the Team Liquid having, I mean, Adren is also tactically an incredible coach. So presumably, if he's looked at any of the demos, he's going to have spotted that. So if they have any inkling that there's some kind of a set piece coming towards A, that smoke's a good smoke. That HE is a good one to throw. And not only that, it's the case that they understand the timings of when they need to throw those HEs as well. So I think that was just some clear, like some good study of the opposition, that HE.
Really good setup by Team Liquid. Also on the archway, Stewie and, was it Nitro, I think, or someone else, they just had it cross higher where Stewie took a shot, and the person from small pit peaked literally almost exact same time. So really, really strong setup by Team Liquid. As you said, reading the timings of the halls and...
Speaking of timings, Luminosity seem to be quite far behind their flashes. They used almost all their utility in that, but then really didn't make any plays. I guess looking for a counter, and then just tried to walk up. And it was pretty pedestrian for Team Liquid, being the ones holding the angles, just shot. And that was a very strong round for Team Liquid, which makes me wonder if Luminosity are gassed. Are they gassed like an old school UFC fighter?
I think Team Liquid's making really nice adjustments, like micro adjustments.
Okay, we have 1 smoke grenade for Luminosity and a few flashbangs. Spaghetti had a utility dump in the previous round, then went slow behind it, got wrecked. Now they have even less choice, although they have got close. So maybe they choose to burst through this, but surely the smoke comes first. We've got Elige making his way over towards the B bomb site as well. We've got 3 AK-47s and 2 AWPs on the CT side. That's not a good start. On the X-ray, I think it is behind the corner. Oh, he's just seen a glimpse of a weapon. Good to know. Let's not forget those draw animations that were made in the game. So you pull a grenade out or a weapon, and sometimes it will give some information away. There's a grenade flying past. He's blind for a second. The push starts to come through. Henny's taken out, and again, it's just all liquid in the frag column. Luminosity being victimized. Spray transfer for Lucas, almost a third one. He's got 8 seconds to plant the bomb, however. Will there be a charge through the smoke? There's little to lose for Elige, and there will be no bomb plant for Luminosity. Another round in the bag for Team Liquid.
Like Eric said, good small adjustments from Team Liquids. Luminosity have mostly just been set piecing into bomb sites, and that's when they found the most success. Team Liquids in this round, though, they were actually able to hold after being passive on the bomb site. They actually held really well, which is I think the first time we've really seen that on the B bomb site, where they've allowed them to come into the bomb site and then just defended it. And now it's down to pistols for Luminosity. But I feel like Luminosity have done really well so far on this half. They started off really strong, and
Whoops.
And Nitro will take some damage. And it could be the case that, you know, after seeing some of this from Luminosity, maybe they're just not, maybe they just have issues with being like disciplined. And I think that can also happen very easily if you play too much Counter-Strike. I think that can happen. You can burn yourself out and
start to get lazy, maybe a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Checking corners and stuff.
But here is the attack into A, and we'll see that everyone is steel now. I think the HUD is stuck. So Twist and Elige will finish everybody off. So they can refresh the HUD. We'll be good to go.
I was confused, really confused for a split second. I was like, wait a minute, what's happening here?
He's so good, he's in pit.
Did they switch sides? What's going on?
We are getting that fixed. Do not worry.
Do not worry.
Have you tried turning it off, turning it on? As the old adage goes.
The old reboot.
So just ignore the HUD for the time being, but the weaponry on Team Liquid is pretty much correct. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really interesting.
It's just frozen.
Everyone is steel.
The radar's frozen, everything's frozen.
Guess the player. All right, let's play guess the player. Who's this?
I'd say this is actually steel. No. Steel or bolts?
Which one is it? Come on. You can't say both. That's cheating.
It's bolts.
All right, well, Twist is about to get his head taken off. They had a crossfire set up. Oh, he's caught with a grenade in his hand. That is a disaster for Team Liquid. Maybe it's the opening that Luminosity needed. Steel moving onto the balcony. He gets taken out. Lucas is still up there. Molotov towards the pit. And we've got Henny moving up that short position. Is that the site taken? I believe it is. Nafly. Ooh, Nafly, the only person left alone. An error from Team Liquid may let Luminosity back into the game in this first half. Looked like Liquid had things shut down. Not a bad start. But the round is with Luminosity. And you do wonder, the T side's always the struggle for Luminosity. They're moving towards round number 6, so...
Big improvement.
Yeah, it's kind of... I really don't know what to expect now. Once we get to the second half, I don't know where we'll be.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, it's they're playing really well. I'm impressed as well. Especially because the start was so tough. So, you know, even more reasons to be impressed. And I'm just happy because there's so many times when I criticize Luminosity for their T size on the Inferno. And it's kind of weird in a way because against Liquid here, they're playing a good T-side Inferno.
Yeah.
and so it's one of those spots where the criticism's even more deserved because if you can do it, why are you not doing it, right? But I'm glad that they're able to post up these numbers, and they've managed to get a lot of bombs down, which is really good. Lots of afterplants to play. And they've been punishing Liquids and hitting their shots. Looking dangerous so far. Speaking of which, combination, penetration, and the grenade will take down bolts. And apartments will be under control, so the D4 here for Luminosity. They'll wait for banana control. I'd imagine they can still go back there, but now they've lost a player. Maybe they just want to go in towards A, but there's 4 players here.
Smack towards Arch from Boiler. Stewie is ahead of it, looking to avoid the flashbangs, as is Elige. Walking into a crossfire. Triple, in fact. Stewie is good for 2. Players in apartments will be heard. The bomb is outside the Boiler position. There's still a crossfire here for the CT side. Nitro putting in some work. Lucas got to be careful. 2 versus 4. That's just a short area. Doesn't know what's happening towards Arch, but there's no fear from Lucas. He'll just come out and look for an engagement. Waiting for an eventual peak. Nitro's got the off angle. The bait from the pit. Liquid with so many little micro situations which could absolutely just decimate a round. Gone from a ruinous round to absolute decimation. Lucas has the bomb. He has 30 seconds. He may assume there's a crossfire of a player on the site and that his footsteps are heard. Trying to bait a player who might be Pillar, Monolith, Speedway, spotted. Lovely tap, but there's so much more work to do. Down to 7 HP now. Double pit, will he expect it? He won't. He'll look everywhere else. Mastery from Team Liquid, and they move to 8 rounds.
Oh, pretty good for that 9th round, perhaps, because the money is not good here for Luminosity. And Team Liquid, I wonder if they'll get more aggressive. I got double orbs, so hard to say. I still learn that Furia smoke, actually, that you like to throw, Eric.
Very nice.
On B. Goes towards the car and kind of gets some cheeky one-way.
It's a one-way and it blocks off the car Molotov that people throw. So it's double entendre.
The Brazilians move up banana once again. They won't fall into the same trap. This time Nekez has his eyes firmly focused on the B bomb site. Trying to take out that flight so far, so good. A great difference to start off with. A 2K from Nekez. Rather than bouncing on the sandbags, he is bouncing bullets on people's faces for a 5 versus 3. Much needed for Luminosity, considering their weaponry. Still gets taken out, but I think he had a pistol, so not the worst thing in the world. He's got the information for one of the 3 players. There are some flashes as well for Nekez to try and enable his teammates. Nitro creeping in construction. 3-man retakers on.
They have so much. They've got 2 incendiaries, flashes, smokes. There's a lot to work with here for Team Liquid, so if they coordinate things well, they'll be okay. And you can see the fire doing so much damage to take down Henny. Bolso facing, doesn't get anything. 2 versus 2 now as Nekez sits on the coffins and waits for the CTs to arrive. And arrive they will. Twist with a nice swing, but they have to get on the bomb here. Oh, Lucas had to hit that shot. He hits every single bullet from the Deeg. Lucas and his Deeg. Great half here from Luminosity. They will finish 7-8. What a result.
7 rounds on the T side of Inferno for Luminosity, their pick. What the hell is going on? What will they have on the CT side? We'll soon find out in a few minutes. things might get a little hairy here for Team Liquid.
Unless you're an Unbalino.
Luminosity picked Inferno, and they got 7 rounds on their T side. This is not what we expected. It really isn't. They moved to the CT side, which means Henny has the luxury of the AWP angles. Bolt takes 5 HP of damage with his knife out, just like stuck in midair, looking through the window.
Lucky person, lucky man.
Nekes sees nothing towards Banana. A setup has been created by Luminosity. And Hen 1 moves back towards A. Liquid have not been too active, poking and prodding, non-committal. They don't want to take the next step in a relationship just yet. But now maybe they do. With a flashbang as well, blinds Nekes, craters head first onto the floor. Lucas falling back. What can he really do? He needs to try and find himself a 1 versus 1. There was one opportunity. Here's another one. Molotov's flying through. A well-equipped Team Liquid can't deal with Lucas just yet. Bought time for the rotation. Henny has a kit. There's no utility for Luminosity beyond that. In construction now are the CTs. We've got a post-plant smoke from Team Liquid as well. They came prepared. The clipboard, the pens, the paper clips. Can they finish off the round though? Headshot from Twist. It leaves it in a 4 versus 2. Nafly's got 1 HP, but that might be enough. Nitro's picked himself up a USP. He's got that added range. Nafly running distraction. He'll take extra risks because he is expendable in this position. And they're trapped. They can do nothing. They can find no frags. They cannot get beyond construction. Running out of bullets, Henny picks up another pistol. Nothing doing. The kit has been lost, and Steel will try to hold on to his Kevlar. Worth a good $650. However, he may run into some problems because Stewie's around the corner. Steel, is he able to hide? Stewie hasn't heard him. Or hasn't seen him at the very least. But there is the pistol round for Team Liquid. Both pistols now.
Molotov MVP. That Molotov right there at New Box really forced Lucas in an awkward spot, and he had the wide swing, and Liquid took advantage of it. Simple as that. Keeping it simple.
So that's both pistol rounds for Luminosity, for Team Liquid rather. So if Luminosity are to do it, it will be the harder way.
They do buy though, so you see the force buy from Luminosity.
Looking to do a penny Hardaway with these HE grenades.
And there's a lot of utility too for this force buy.
Beautiful.
Donked.
And there's 4 more where those came from. Luminosity seem prepared. They're holding on to a number of smokes. So there's some utility to kind of bait a response. Nekes looking for a super tight angle. But he's alone on the B bomb site. Playing a pixel angle with a Desert Eagle. Lucas has made his way over. Nekes has a smoke, but he's not in a position to use it. Lucas, however, is. 1 minute 10 on the clock. We have 2 smoke grenades remaining for Luminosity, one of which is over towards that B bomb site. So Team Liquid may be forced into an awkward position. Steel's in that short position with the smoke grenade, considering using it. 53 seconds remaining. You can see they're lining up for execute, but there is another smoke grenade. Now, is there another one behind that? How do you find this out? They haven't really ventured too far towards top mid just yet, Team Liquid, so they don't really have the information. Henny's shown presence towards A with the Desert Eagle. They've seen smokes towards B. They don't really know who is where. Trying to pull rotation towards B bomb site. They're faking on the anti-force buy. 30 seconds remain. Henny quietly moving away from Speedway. Now he's out of position. He's been smoked off. He's been baited. And now they can try to split the A bomb site. We've got some players going into aggressive position for Luminosity. Steel trying to find a headshot. There's one. Got a reload, but there's too many Liquid players. So they managed to adjust Liquid, pull Luminosity out of position, and take the A bomb site.
That was a really tight time from Team Liquid. You saw around 30 seconds left. They had to make a move, and they really didn't take any bomb site yet. But what was so good about it is that Team Liquid had control of Banana and mid at the same time. So that fake at B really pulled Luminosity, a couple players out of their spots. And the timing window for Liquid to wrap, as Dan would say, on Ecos, wrap A, because you want to create distance with pistols, and there's a lot less angles to check when you're wrapping instead of coming through the lane. So just masterful timing and coordination from Team Liquid while keeping 4 people alive.
Absolutely. Well-oiled team. Not baby oil.
Motor?
That's for
oil?
wrestlers.
Wrestlers and weird people.
Well, bodybuilders as well.
Do they use baby oil?
When they go to those contests, well, the bronzing,
Bronzing, yeah.
you know, a little sheen, I suppose.
They accentuate the muscles.
Bronzing's all the rage now. Trying to get that Middle Eastern look like the Kardashians.
So hot.
Well, we have an eco situation for the Brazilians. If they continue to be outmaneuvered on the buy rounds by Team Liquid, then things may prove difficult. However, we have to see if they're able to put Henny in a position to win. Of course, Liquid know what to expect from the likes of Henny, and they will look to neutralize him with smoke grenades, with flashbangs, and so on. So there's plenty of challenge to be had for Luminosity, still an underdog in this series and this map, despite picking it. It's been interesting so far, some good rounds, some not so good ones, but again, we look to their main round to come on this CT side.
Somewhat of a standstill. But Liquid have had enough of that. Now begin to move forwards down Banana. And he catching Nitro in the back, but it's him that will fall on his back. On Arch. And Liquid finally make their way in towards B. Plenty of time. Good pace on the rounds overall. Only so much Boz can do. Let's be real. Still wanders around. Still dies. And it's over. Thank God.
Methodical, surgical, robotic. That's what Team Liquid was in taking that site. Molotovs, smokes, flashes.
Honestly, push mid from Luminosity. Because I reckon Liquid may get, there's a possibility they'll go fast Banana. At least with a few players. So I want to see 2 on B, 3 running down mids. That's what I want to see.
You want to see that?
Let's go. It's not happening.
Well, it's up to Bolts. He has a spawn, but he's not going to do it.
Well, they'll go aggressive on Banana at least. He throws a deep Molotov, which is supposed to aid the Banana push from the CTs. But the 1 versus 1 by Stewie. Stewie, 1 HP. That is crazy. We talked about this before. Stewie is the man that harasses Banana. He's the man with the plan, the guy that's the Banana master. But this time, he will be able to best Nekis.
Meaty.
Wow. Wow.
Skidding around.
So much patience.
Absolutely blind. And that, again, outmaneuvering. Sheer outmaneuvering. They are inside the... the problem is Luminosity are outside the castle.
Yeah,
They should be defending from inside the castle.
I was thinking that. I swear to you, I was thinking that.
But they're outside and Liquid will exploit them.
That's why the catapult's in front of everything. Come on. It doesn't make sense.
If Elige was in the corner by the sandbags, and maybe from his position as well, you saw Bolts run up Speedway and jump, and maybe it was deliberate because he's going away unless it was sound cues. Basically, if you're in a corner behind sandbags and someone's running up Speedway, you can hear them running up there. So sometimes you'll see a longer rotation from CTs where they go round the outside so as not to give that sound cue away. So Bolts ran there and then jumped and then kind of went back. So I don't know if that was coincidence and something that Lucas heard on the B bomb site, or if he was trying to suggest a rotation and bait them into going towards A, which they did do and took successfully. And Lucas finds himself as the only man who is currently standing for Luminosity. So as promising as some of the rounds looked on the T side, Liquid may be too strong on this T side of their own. We haven't seen any answers from Luminosity just yet. That said, we've only really seen 1 full buy from them so far in this half.
So, you know, just from taking that round alone, you started seeing some of the faults of the old Luminosity in terms of little space, and you saw Hen 1 just kind of sitting in mana and he gets flashed. So where's his flash from his teammate? If your Opera gets flashed in that forward spot, where's the counter flash? Where's the counter utility to give him some time, some space to not, you know... Like he's just sitting there. Where's the... Like, there's no counter flash from anything. I guess... Who was over there with him? I think it was Lucas.
Lucas was sort of in the CT spot where he spoke CT, and he was just walking back. He's like kind of walking towards Speedway, I think, kind of.
It's so odd because Henry he just stood there. He didn't do anything. I didn't see no reaction, so.
Do we think Luminosity will win a CT round?
No.
At this point?
They have to win one. Come on. They got to win one CT round.
Well, assuming they lose this half buy, they won't have many more opportunities. Liquid will only be 2 buy rounds away, 2 Luminosity buy rounds away from victory, so there's a chance that they don't. Got a 2-man venture into the apartments. This might be a good comparison to what we saw from the, I think it was an anti-force buy from Luminosity on their T side, where one player ventured up the stairs towards the apartments area. Very dangerous when your opponent has pistols, CZs and the like on the CT side. So how the different teams deal with it will be very, very interesting. I do respect how much Luminosity play Inferno, because you have to assume that they are working on it as much as they can.
They're determined.
And now they start picking it, so I respect that. We have seen some better rounds in that first half, it has to be said. We've only seen 1 buy round, so we can't be judging the second half just yet. They've used all of their utility. They have used some of their smoke grenades, actually. I think we can say that we've seen some improvement there as well. They've tried to put Liquid as best they can into a position to make a mistake, which is a good start.
Deeks have to connect. All the chances gone, missed. Liquid have the bomb site. Oh, there we go. I felt like Lucas had to get that. But the bomb site's gone and there's no real way to retake this, especially now that Stewie's just backstabs to Lucas. That's the kit. Down. They'll be saving. So another round to Liquid, 5 in a row on the second half. I think I said that I didn't think that Luminosity would get more than 7 rounds at the in the pre-game.
I think you said 6 or 7 rounds, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if that will actually be the case. Because the first half was so competitive. Although Sliggy made a good point off camera where he was saying that despite the fact that Luminosity picked up so many rounds in the first half, they failed their arch smoke every single time, which is a bit suspect considering how basic of a smoke that should be for your defaults on a map like Inferno, especially if you play it so much. You know, the fact that that's never come up, you know, that no one's ever looked at the demo, that's never come up. That your arch smoke is failing every single time.
It's weird.
Perhaps it's telling of a greater problem.
Sorry, which team is that?
Luminosity.
Yeah, I think it's something we've mentioned a number of times, is that I think they need more outside help in terms of an analyst or something. So I don't know as far as I can tell, unless there's had some additions that haven't really been announced. I don't think that's been the case.
Maybe you can do it, James.
Which is disappointing.
Go to demo, find the smoke, tweet them the lineup.
I'm that kind of nerd, man. I'm that kind of nerd. Right now I'm doing the good videos on YouTube, but let's see. There's a burst top mid. Twist with an opening frag, wants to steal some pre-fire, but Bolts will fight back. He's looking for more. Spots a player, spots 2 in fact. 1 in boiler, 1 near that porch position. But Liquid take the site. They're out of position, Luminosity now. Do they want to risk losing everything if they go for this push? They're smoked off and they're all on the wrong side of the site. Maybe they get an extra buy if they can save all of this.
There's 2 smokes left for this tease as well. That usually just seals it, because you can indefinitely smoke off Moto, which means there's only porch to work with, and that's just too difficult. It's very this is the thing, is that if a T side takes the A bomb side, it has to be the case that it's been a long round, because you can't, if they have post-plant utility like this, it's impossible. It's actually impossible. So if they take A fast, usually the round's just over. The same principle with B as well. That's why on this map in particular, it's very important for the CTs. Sometimes that's why teams like playing passive, because at least you guarantee that you don't give up a bomb site before the Ts have wasted utility, which gives chances for retakes if you do lose the site eventually. So that's another one of those difficult elements of Inferno.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call by Team Liquid to rush the A halls on that specific round, because Luminosity did have 3 people towards B, and Team Liquid put themselves in a spot to, if there's aggressive B, let's just take A. Exactly what they did, and just ran over Luminosity, completely catch him off guard, and also conditioning Luminosity with all those B takes.
Okay, there's 1.
No
okay,
way.
Henny. Needed, but is it too little too late? Still going battle sniper. Forward is the only way for Henny, looking for 4. He's gone crazy. He's gone mad with power. He is bloodthirsty, but has he shut down the round? 4 versus 2. It is a brief highlight in what has been a bad half for Luminosity. It would be a much needed round for them. They've got half the score of their opponent.
I respect that so much. I think that was the right call from Henny. Okay, so Nitro and Stewie left. We can't count them out yet. They got over a minute still, and Stewie's up arch. So there's actually so much space on the map that if Liquid is smart, they can nail this. Now they got some problems because a 2-man pit setup or a man on the site and a man in pit is very difficult to deal with, and the T's will smoke off Moto, which is interesting. How do you attack this? It's doable. If they knew exactly where their opponents were standing, it's doable. So Nitro's going to throw one of the mollies out in towards the pit position. You can guarantee there's at least one in pit, but you can see that Stu is looking to that box. Oh, that is stunning from Nitro. Beautiful snaps. He has to get the ace to save this one now, but he's given himself a real chance.
Nitro's so good when it counts. It's ridiculous. He makes it look pedestrian. He's got sound cues from one player. Does he know where the second one is? Slowly but surely, they move through the site. He can hear this. They have a kit. Will they double peek? Lucas jiggling. Good for the duel. Lucas has been delivering. You felt like that was going to be a simple one for Nitro. If he gets that kill, who the hell knows?
Steal. That was a really awkward play from him because you saw him wide swing pit. Don't get me wrong, 2 great shots from Nitro to capitalize on it, but there's no reason for Steal to wide swing in that situation. With 1 person left, the time's running down, and even if he wide swings you in pit and kills you, at least you waste 5 to 10 more seconds before Nitro can go in the bomb site, which buys your time for your team to rotate. So not a great move by Steal. I don't like it.
Plenty more where that came from for Team Liquid. Some momentum maybe for Luminosity. Hard to see through flames. Oh, through the logs and the flames. Stewie gets tagged, but Stewie alive is always a problem, especially with an AK-47 in his hands. 4 versus 5 for Team Liquid. Now, we saw a 3 versus 5 for NIP on Inferno earlier, and they concentrated the efforts towards the B-bomb site. Ended up 3 versus 2 on the site, and then took it 3 versus 3 once the site was clear. Liquid will head towards the A-bomb site, where 3 players remain. Lucas has been on point, but he's just taking things for granted there, maybe. He still needs 2, he finds 2. Can he find 3? Absolutely. Leaving Nitro alone, 1 versus 4. Can he do damage? There might still be some money in the coffers for Team Liquid. Trying to create some space with grenades, as you can see there is. Money's really light for Luminosity, so every frag is worth $1 million right now.
He's read the play too. They probably think he's dropped out of the apartments. He thinks, his read was that Steel would be in the apartments here. And he's right, but Steel went for the long rotation.
Ace.
So Steel gets the ace. That was a great hold from him. And second round for Luminosity. And it's off the back of some of these strong individual plays. This is a great peek. And that's like that's a right eye peek for both players, but he's the one peeking into the angle. So he has more time to react on a target that's not even moving. So well done, Steel. But lots more rounds to be recovered. As some of these nades, early nades have been doing good for Liquids. Oh wow, Nekus is going straight down. They just left it open. I wanted to see him go deeper. I love the aggression. Who doesn't? I come from Quake. No, it's a very aggressive game when you're not playing 1 versus 1.
If you're not pressing W, you're doing something wrong. Or E? You are an ESDF man, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
There you go. Grenades towards that short position, trying to force away any would-be sniper rifle players. Saw plenty of action from that angle in the European broadcast. But Henny still wants to show us plenty of action. Holding down Banana, which allows 4 people to be towards A. And if Liquid have intentions towards A, then that's a great way to pull somebody towards B, but maybe they look to burst towards B. Henny will still be entrusted with the B bomb site, going for some tags. How does he not hit something there? How many bullets does he have left in the magazine? 5. 1 for each player. Imagine.
Well, they're going to throw the nades and they're going to go. And it's Steel there who's for support. There's no counter utility for the CTs, so you gotta hit every shot. And he only hits the one, and Steel gets instantly killed as well. That's the round over for sure. And Luminosity, I don't know how much money they have, but that's okay. I don't think they can afford to lose any players now. This is just not happening, so gotta fall back. And Liquids looking to make swift work of their opponents, Luminosity. And that's what we're talking about as well. Like if you play a slow round, it's not just the Ts that will run out of retake or post-plant utility. It's the CTs. Like if there's no utility, it's so difficult to stop the flow of Ts into the bomb site.
It was kind of unfortunate is that they used some of their utility taking control of Banana, but they didn't take control of it. They just let it go after the, kind of peaked a little bit. So it's one of those tough decisions. You just hold it, maybe wait for them to retake it, or do you just fall back? And I don't know. I don't know what usually the best situation is to do, but it's always hard to use utility to take a choke point and then give it up so easily.
Yes, it's there's always this idea, this fundamental idea of like value exchange. Like if something comes at a cost, what are you getting in return? And there's a huge cost for nothing in return. So it's going to harm you for sure.
Look at all that infantry lobbed onto the floor. Stewie makes his way towards the tree position, waiting for a flash from his teammates. Trying to catch him off guard. Absolute perfect play from Liquid so far. There's two. Was there a third one? Ali stands on Nekkers' head. He has no idea. Can he find two Nekkers? Would two be enough at this point? It is game point for Liquid after all. He's being looked for in the smoke by Nafly. Two players gone ahead. There's Stewie holding the angle. Is this the end of the line on Inferno for Luminosity? Only one player's on the way. Twist still looking for a lurker towards A. Bolt's looking for a flank, but now he starts to move towards CT. He is being chased. Steel, I feel like he'll be seen by Elige first. The UMP will prevail on this occasion. He can get an upgrade. He's got to act fast.
Luminosity only has a smoke. And Twist is going to be flanking him.
Oh no. He spotted him. Oh, he's going to take his time. Oh, there you go. And that's that. Steel. 1 versus 3. He has a smoke. That's a nice shot into Twist. Steel's like pretty on. But is it enough? Oh, there's just no time. He's got no kit. It's over. It's game over, my friends. Everybody knows it. Can you get some kills for the Glory? The Glory has been had, but the round has been lost, as has the first map here between these two teams. 16-9. Team Liquid sailing through that T side. Such a breeze for them.
Yeah, they're just too strong a team. Too strong a team for where Luminosity are at the moment. So there'll always be shortcomings. The pick of Inferno by Luminosity, very, very interesting. I guess they want to force it into their map pool, which is cool. We did see some improvements, and it's step by step. Small improvements will be fantastic. We saw some promise on their T side, even in the eco rounds with the smoke grenades and the HEs. They've definitely, I mean, it was a stark difference in some cases to what we saw earlier this week. So that is good for Luminosity, onwards and upwards. But it's onwards and upwards quite literally, as Vertigo is the next map.
Yeah, we saw some good, as you said, improvement from Luminosity, but towards the mid-end of this match, they kind of slowed down a lot, and when they slowed down a lot of their bad habits started creeping up again. A lot of unexchanged kills, random peaks, and maybe not the greatest positional play on the CT side.
23 kills for Elige. Nafly only with 8, but again, it doesn't really matter when you consider the score. It doesn't matter who's doing what as long as it's being done. So again, Liquid and Luminosity both fighting for a spot at the finals in London. Season 7 is in the SSE Arena. ECS.faceit.com is where you can pick up some tickets, get down there or get up there depending on where you are in the world and the orientation of your globe. We've got a little globe just over there. Anyway, use your globe, find where London is, book yourself a flight or a journey, a taxi, a car, a chariot, a horse, a boat, whatever you prefer. It's all available to get to London. We'll see you after the break for Vertigo.